So this question is asking for best value. So we've identified the trigger for this question, and it's got a star, so we need some words to explain, so we're really careful. We've got some sentences at the end or in between telling us the story of what we're doing. So we're looking for the best value, which in this context would be the least price per pint. So that would be the best value. So we want the least price per pint. So there's lots of ways of doing this. We could decide to do 4s into 118. I've made that whole pence to make it an easier sum to do. So 4s into 1 doesn't work, so we move the 1 across to make 4s into 11. 4s into 11 is 2, remainder 3. 2 4s are 8, taking from 11 is 3, and 4s into 38 is 9, and 4th 9 to 36, so we're left with 2. So decimal point, put a 0 on, which doesn't change the value of that, just allows us to then carry on the sum. And 4s into 20 is 5. So we added a decimal point, so we do that. So that's 29.5p per pint. And then we can do 6 into 174 pence. Again, add 0 on just in case we need it. 6 into 1 doesn't work, so we push the 1 over to the 7 to make 17. So 6 into 17 is 2, 2 6s are 12, from 17 is 5, and 6 into 54 is 9 exactly. So this time it's 29p per pint. Again, we're writing down a little bit of what we're doing so that we're explaining our method, and then we would conclude that the 6 pints is better value as it costs less per pint. 29p is less than 29.5p. So that's one way of doing that question. Just as a side point, because some of you might like this idea of doing what's equivalence. So we can recognise the lowest multiple of 4 and 6 is 12. So I could work out 12 pints for each. So for 12 pints on the 4 pint pot, I'd need to do 3 times £1.18, and on the 6 pint pot, I'd need to do 2 times £1.74. 3 times £1.18 is £3.54, and 2 times £1.74 is £3.48. Cheaper, so better value. There's lots of other ways you could do it, but there's a couple of methods that you could use for this kind of question. Find a common multiple of the 2 items or 3 items, depending on how many's in the question, and then make up equivalent values. Or you could find out the cost of 1 unit, called the unitary method, and usually that way is more direct. Remember the units though, guys. You do pence divide by pints, so the units are pence per pint, because that's quite a common mistake if you're not careful getting the units the wrong way around. So that's best value.